Good afternoon, class. Today I'm going to finish chapter 16 in Charlotte's Web. We're going to take ourselves to the read aloud. We're going to learn till we can't no more. And Mr. K, teach us something. Mr. K, teach us something. Remember where we left off. Charlotte and Templeton are sneaking in Wilbur's crate. They're going to the fair. Mr. Zuckerman's going to show off his pig, and he wants to win first prize. Mr. Zuckerman, got to get my voice ready. Talk out of the side of my mouth when I'm Mr. Zuckerman. He's a farmer. So Templeton's going to go, and they convince Templeton to go because it's a paradise for rats. And I shared that video, that song with Templeton. I love Templeton, the character. He ends up helping a lot in this story, but why does he help? He helps for himself. Charlotte is like the opposite of Templeton. Charlotte is helping, and it's all for Wilbur. But Templeton helps just as much, but it's all for Templeton. So one character trait for Templeton is selfish, and one character trait for Charlotte is the opposite of selfish, which would be generous, selfless, kind, caring. So it's funny, they both help Wilbur. Templeton does it all for Templeton. Charlotte does it all for Wilbur. So they're opposites, and they are doing the same thing. So we're thinking about our characters. We're thinking about our story. Where we left off, the old sheep nodded. "What cargo?" she said. "That sign ought to say Zuckerman's famous pig and 2 stowaways." So they snuck in and they're hiding under the hay. Now the humans are coming. The geese said, "Watch out, the humans are coming." And they're in the crate getting ready to go to the fair. That's where we left off. This will be pretty short. Thank you for watching these. I miss you all so much. It's so nice to see you during our morning meetings. Just like I don't say it enough, I do miss you guys and girls all so much. Ready for us to finish our chapter? Here we go. The big truck with Mr. Arable at the wheel backed slowly down toward the barnyard. Lurvy and Mr. Zuckerman walked alongside. Fern and Avery were standing in the body of the truck, hanging on to the sideboards. "Listen to me," whispered the old sheep to Wilbur. "When they open the crate and try to put you in, struggle. Don't go without a tussle. Pigs always resist when they're being loaded." "If I struggle, I'll get dirty," said Wilbur. "Never mind that. You do as I say. Struggle. If you were to walk into the crate without resisting, Zuckerman might think you're bewitched. He'd be scared to go to the fair." Templeton poked his head up through the straw. "Struggle if you must," said he, "but kindly remember that I'm hiding down here in this crate, and I don't want to be stepped on or kicked in the face or pummeled or crushed in any way, or squashed, or buffeted about, or bruised, or lacerated, or scarred, or biffed. Just watch what you're doing, Mr. Radiant, when they get you shoving in." So Templeton is talking to Wilbur saying, "You better be careful, because if you step on me, I don't want to be stepped on," and he's hiding in the hay. And the sheep told Wilbur, struggle when they try to put you in the crate, because that's what pigs do. If you act like you walk right in, they'll think something's wrong. So you have to act like a normal pig. The old sheep is also helping. He's smart. He's intelligent. "Be quiet, Templeton," said the sheep. "Pull in your head. They're coming. Look radiant, Wilbur. Lay low. Charlotte, talk it up, geese." The truck slowly backed to the pig pen and stopped. Mr. Arable cut the motor, got out, walked around to the rear, and lowered the tailgate. The geese cheered. Mrs. Arable got out of the truck. Fern and Avery jumped to the ground. Mrs. Zuckerman came walking down from the house. Everybody lined up at the fence and stood for a moment, admiring Wilbur and the beautiful green crate. Nobody realized that the crate already contained a rat and a spider. "That's some pig," said Mrs. Arable. "He's terrific," said Lurvy. "He's very radiant," said Fern, remembering the day he was born. There are human characters, and they're looking at Wilbur. They're all going to the fair. "Well," said Mrs. Zuckerman, "he's clean anyway. That buttermilk certainly helped." Remember our buttermilk bath? Wilbur got a buttermilk bath. Mr. Arable studied Wilbur carefully. "Yes, he's a wonderful pig," he said. "It's hard to believe that he was the runt of the litter. You'll get some extra good ham and bacon, Homer, when it comes time to kill that pig." Wilbur heard these words. Whoa, something super important. Let's read it again. Make sure you're paying attention. Mr. Arable studied Wilbur carefully. Here's what Mr. Arable said. "Yes, he's some wonderful pig," he said. "It's hard to believe that he was the runt of the litter. You'll get some extra good ham and bacon, Homer, when it comes time to kill that pig." How are you feeling right now? Bwomp, bwomp, bwomp. our problem. What did Mr. Arable just say? When you kill that pig, that's going to be a lot of ham and bacon. Yum, yum. How do you think Wilbur's going to take to that news? Let's see how he reacts. Wilbur heard these words and his heart almost stopped. I think I'm going to faint, he whispered to the old sheep who was watching. Kneel down, whispered the old sheep. Let the blood rush to your head. Wilbur sank to his knees, all radiance gone, his eyes closed. Look, screamed Fern, he's fading away. Hey, watch me, yelled Avery, crawling on all fours into the crate. I'm a pig, I'm a pig! Avery's foot touched Templeton under the straw. What a mess, thought that rat. What fantastic creatures boys are. Why did I let myself in for this? The geese saw Avery in the crate and cheered. Avery, get out of that crate this instant, commanded his mother. What do you think you are? I'm a pig, cried Avery, tossing handfuls of straw into the air. Oink, oink, oink! The truck is rolling away, Papa, said Fern. The truck, with no one at the wheel, had started to roll downhill. Mr. Arable dashed to the driver's seat and pulled on the emergency brake. The truck stopped. The geese cheered. Charlotte crouched and made herself as small as possible in the knothole so Avery wouldn't see her. Come out at once, cried Mrs. Arable. Avery crawled out of the crate on his hands and knees, making faces at Wilbur. Wilbur fainted away. The pig has passed out, said Mrs. Zuckerman. Throw water on him. Throw buttermilk, suggested Avery. The geese cheered. Lurvy ran for the pail of water. Fern climbed into the pen and knelt by Wilbur's side. It's sunstroke, said Zuckerman. The heat is too much for him. Maybe he's dead, said Avery. Come out of that pig pen immediately, cried Mrs. Arable. Avery obeyed his mother and climbed into the back of the truck so he could see better. Lurvy returned with cold water and dashed it on Wilbur. Throw some on me, cried Avery. I'm hot too. Oh, keep quiet, hollered Fern. Keep quiet. Her eyes were brimming with tears. Wilbur, feeling the cold water, came to. He rose slowly to his feet while the geese cheered. He's up, said Mr. Arable. I guess there's nothing wrong with him. I'm hungry, said Avery. I want a candied apple. Wilbur's all right now, said Fern. We can start. I want to take a ride in the Ferris wheel. Mr. Zuckerman and Mr. Arable and Lurvy grabbed the pig and pushed him headfirst toward the crate. Wilbur began to struggle. The harder the men pushed, the harder he held back. Avery jumped down and joined the men. Wilbur kicked and thrashed and grunted. Nothing wrong with this pig, said Mr. Zuckerman cheerfully, pressing his knee against Wilbur's behind. All together now, boys. Shove! With a final heave, they jammed him into the crate. The geese cheered. Lurvy nailed some boards across the end so Wilbur couldn't back out. Then, using all their strength, the men picked up the crate, heaved it aboard the truck. They did not know that under the straw was a rat, and inside the knothole was a big gray spider. They only saw the pig. Everybody in, called Mr. Arable. He started the motor. The ladies climbed in beside him. Mr. Zuckerman and Lurvy and Fern and Avery rode in the back, hanging onto the sideboards. The truck began to move ahead. The geese cheered. The children answered their cheer, and away went everyone to the fair. And that's the end of our chapter. Here they are throwing water on Wilbur. So what happened? Wilbur fainted. Why did he faint? He heard Mr. Arable say, well, Mr. Zuckerman, that's going to be some nice bacon when you kill that pig. Wilbur heard that and he freaked out. And when you faint, sometimes you have so much anxiety, you have a panic attack. And Wilbur had like a panic attack and he just passed out. And then Avery climbed in his little crate and he was pretending to be a pig. Look at me, I'm a pig, oink, oink. And then they got some water and they splashed it on Wilbur. He woke up and they shoved him in the crate. Now they're off to the fair. Wilbur just heard this, so he must be really nervous. I'm making predictions that Wilbur is going to be scared. I'm wondering, what is Charlotte going to do? What is Templeton going to do at the fair? They're going with him. Their trick worked. The humans did not notice Charlotte. They did not notice the rat. So they're hiding in the crate. They're off to the fair. I have a lot of questions. I'm making a lot of predictions. I'm thinking a lot because we're getting close to the end. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow I'll read the next chapter. Everyone have a great afternoon.